Okay, because of time I had to quickly end, and now I'm going to finish section 1.5. We're going to do the guided practice on page 35 and draw some pictures on the back of your note sheet, so flip that over. Number 1 and number 2 deal with the same diagram, and you can look in your book. I'm going to draw it here. I have the point F, G, and H. Then you have another offshoot here. You have K and you have L. Now the angles that they give you are 41 degrees and 131 degrees and 49 degrees. In problem number 1, they want you to name complementary angles. So part 1 is complementary angles, and part 2 would be supplementary angles. And a third part to number 1 is adjacent angles. So we'll practice our definitions. Now, complementary angles, they equal 90 degrees. Supplementary equal 180. So if you look at your diagram, they do not have to be right next to each other, but two angles that add up to 90 degrees are going to be, label them with 3 letters. It's going to be angle F, G, K. This angle, that's 41. And the angle will have angle G, K, L. So G to K to L is this angle. If you add those up, those are 90 degrees, so they are complementary. Supplementary, you have angle H, G, K. That's this angle right here. That's going to be 131 degrees. And angle GKL, the 49 degree angle. Those two angles add up to 180, so they're going to be supplementary. They are not adjacent to each other. The ones that are adjacent to each other are angle FGK and angle KGH. Now those angles are adjacent because this angle FGK and the angle KGH, they share a common vertex, they share a common side, and they do not have common interior points. These points are not the same as these points in that interior of that angle. So that's number 1. Number 2 is dealing with the same diagram. So number 2 I'll put down here. Number 2 says our angles KGH and angle angle LKG, are they adjacent? That is a question. So let's go looking for those angles. K to G to H, KGH is this angle in the blue now, and the angle LKG is in the blue here. I'm going to make it black. Angle LKG. Those angles are not adjacent. They don't share the same vertex. So right away, look at the listing of the angles. The G is in the middle, that's its vertex. The K is in the middle, that's its vertex. They're not the same. So it fails the definition because they're supposed to have a common vertex. So they are not adjacent. No. Number 3, we're just going to keep going down and extending this page. Number 3, you have a diagram, and it looks like this. Oh, actually, I think they tell you. They don't have a diagram. They say this. They say that angle 1 and 2 are complementary. So I'm going to draw a right angle, and I'm going to say angles 1 and 2 are complementary. So that's true in that picture. They also tell you that angle 2 has 8 degrees. They want you to find angle 1. Here's what I know. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is 90 degrees. They told me they were complementary. The measure of angle 1, I don't know, but measure of angle 2 is 8 degrees. And then I have 90 degrees. When I subtract 8 degrees, the measure of angle 1 will equal 82 degrees. That's angle 1. And you can see that they are complementary. They add up to 90. Plus this box tells you they're going to add up to 90. Number 4 says that you have two angles that are supplementary. I'm going to draw this picture for supplementary. I have angles 3 and angle 4 being supplementary. They don't have a picture, so I drew my own. And they told you that angle 3 is 117 degrees. What's angle 4? Measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 equals 180 because of the definition of supplementary angles. I replace angle 3 with 117 degrees plus the measure of angle 4 equaling 180. When I subtract 117, the measure of angle 4 is going to equal 63 degrees. Alright, then we go on to number 5. Number 5 is going to have a statement saying that two angles are complementary. And one of the angles is angle LMN. And they have angle LMN having this expression for the measure of its angle. An angle PQR. That angle is represented with 9x plus 1. Now they're telling you that the angles are going to be complementary. So that would mean that this 4x minus 2, that angle, plus the angle 9x plus 1 is going to be 90 degrees because the two angles add up to 90 if they are complementary. Combine your like terms. You have 13x minus a 1 equaling 90. Add the 1. Divide by 13. And x is going to equal 7. Now go back and find out what each angle is. So I'm going to replace my 7 here. My x was 7. And I have 28 minus 2 is 26 degrees. I replace my x with 7 here. And I have 63 plus 1 is 64 degrees. And you can see that these two add up to 90. They are complementary. Okay, go on to number 6 and 7. They share the same picture. 6 and 7 have these lines intersecting. And they should intersect at one point. The angles are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the question is, number 6, are there any linear pairs? And a linear pair means two to form a straight line, and there are no linear pairs. There's no two angles that form a straight line. The second part of number 6, do they have any vertical angles? So vertical angles are angles that are non-adjacent when two lines intersect. So angle 1 and angle 4. Also angle 2 and angle 5. Also angle 3 and angle 6. Those are all vertical angles. 3 pair of vertical angles. Number 7, number 7 has its own word problem to it. It is saying that two angles are complementary. So I'm going to go ahead and draw them adjacent to each other and be complementary. So I have this angle 1 and this angle 2. Now it tells me that one angle is twice the other angle. So I'm going to call this angle 1x. I'm going to call angle 2 twice. This complement is twice the angle x. So angle x has a complement that is twice its value. Here's the angle x, and this angle is twice its value. So add them up. 2x plus x equals 90. The two angles are complementary, so they equal 90. Combine your like terms and divide, and x equals 30. Go back and substitute. You have a 30. If you double that, you're going to get a 60. So an angle has its complement that is twice that angle. So those are your two solutions, and that's the end of part 2 and for section 1.5. The end.